Hello, 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 and welcome to the Good Vibes Lifestyle. This is where we come together and learn all the practical ways to raise our vibrations so we can thrive. So, welcome today to the show. I'm your host, Leslie Klein, and this is all about higher vibration, clarity, and intention. Practical tools to get to those states. And today's show is very powerful because we're sitting in this energy of a beautiful full moon in the sign of Libra that just peaked last night around 10:23 p.m. So this moon is inviting all of us to restore balance in our lives and in our relationships. Now, I am streaming to several different places. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. So if you're watching while we're live, please comment. Tell me where you're coming from. I'd love to know, ask any questions, make any comments. That would be awesome. All right, my friends, let's get into this astrology. So we've got some big astrology happening. We are right in the midst of a full moon. But let's first start with the sun, because I always like to start with the sun being our star in our solar system. The sun is in the sign of Aries. Of course, Aries is the ram, it's a fire energy. Aries is a lot of energy. And being that the sun went into Aries on March 20th, which was also the spring equinox. There's all kinds of new beginning energy happening. It's an initiation period. This is a time of fresh starts, bold action, and moving forward because Aries, just like spring, everything moves forward. And, Aries doesn't look for perfect, it looks just to take action. So, just so that you know that. So that's what's happening in terms of the sun. But as far as the moon, we just had this full moon in the sign of Libra just last night. So check it out. And hello to the people that are tuning in. Tiana Frick and Cherry K-Pop. Great to see you here. So I'm talking about the full moon, which happened last night, but we actually feel the effects of the full moon 3 days before and 3 days after. So we're in this like 5, 6 day period of the full moon energy where we could use this energy. So the full moon, they also call it a pink moon. And it reached its peak illumination last night at 10:23 p.m. Eastern Time. So Libra is the sign of balance. It's the sign of relationships and of harmony. So each full moon will have a different flavor depending on what sign it's in. So the sign of Libra, again, is the scales, and the scales have to do with harmony and balance. Full moons always bring illumination, culmination, where things are coming to a peak, and also emotional clarity. So the full moons shine a light on what has been building beneath the surface. And this particular full moon is especially powerful because it occurs on the Aries Libra axis. And that means if Aries is on one end of this, when there's a full moon, the sun's on one end of the spectrum and then the moon's on the other, reflecting the light, and the earth is in the middle. So you've got Aries sun, which opposite would be Libra moon. And the Aries sign represents the self versus Libra represents relationships and partnerships. So it's the big question right now is how do we balance our personal truth with harmony in our relationships? Because yes, there's I as a person and what I want individually, but then you also have people in our lives that we're in relationship with that we need to manage that as well. And you can't be totally selfish and still have relationships. It's a balance, right? So this full moon highlights our relationships, asking us to find balance between honoring ourselves and showing up for others. So practicing the self-care, practicing the time that we need to, decompress after work or something intense. Time to set boundaries. We're not always in a situation where we're giving to other people all the time. We need to recharge our batteries sometimes, and that's what self-love and self-care is really all about. So, how do we balance our personal truth with harmony in our relationships? And this is a balancing act, between honoring ourselves and showing up for others. So Libra encourages us, it encourages fairness, it encourages compassion and diplomacy, beauty and harmony. It also asks us to look honestly at where we have overcompromised or ignored our own needs in order to keep the peace. And that's where that balance comes in, because sometimes we don't state our truth because we want to keep the peace, because we know if we stated our truth, it would cause a ruckus. People would, have reactions to that. So a lot of times we stay quiet, and that's not always the best thing to do because we're not honoring ourselves. But there is a balancing act because we don't always have to speak our truth in every particular situation. Sometimes it's not called for, but it is important to speak our truth when we feel the need to. Um, okay, so this full moon can bring relationship realizations, emotional breakthroughs, clarity about boundaries, opportunities to restore balance. And because Jupiter is activating this moon, emotions and realizations may feel even bigger or be more amplified than usual because Jupiter is aspecting the moon as well. So and Jupiter is the benefactor, it makes everything bigger. So that's what's happening as far as the full moon is concerned. And the new moon, just so that you're aware of it, in 2 weeks, we'll have the new moon on April 17th in the sign of Aries. So that's going to be an interesting new moon. And again, full moons, new moons. Full moons are where everything comes to culmination, to like seeing when you plant a seed at the new moon and it grows and then it blossoms during the full moon, and then it starts waning, degrading, composting, integrating during the waning moon back, and then we start the cycle again with the new moon. So that's what's going on and why it's important. The moon affects us. We're like 90% water. It impacts the water in our bodies, which also impact our being. It impacts our world in terms of higher tides and lower tides when there is a new moon or a full moon. So it has an impact on our emotional lives. So it's important to pay attention. Plus, it's so close to us, right? It's the closest orbiting, it's not a planet, but a satellite, I guess, that's out there. So it does impact us. And so when we're following the cycles of nature, the phases of the moon, the cycles of the solar year, the seasons, when we're in tune with those things, that's when we can bring more balance into our lives, because then we're working in harmony with nature. But when we're not in that harmony, when we're not paying attention, when we're not grounding ourselves, we're not going out in nature, when we're, in the house all the time around synthetic things, we're going to miss that connection with Earth. And we are, part of Mother Earth. So it's important to do that. Oh, and I will share that Kristen Gieslin. Hello, Kristen. She's saying, "Hi, Leslie. Thank you for giving us the good vibes Astro News." Thank you. Thank you, Kristen. Kristen is a great psychic and Buddhist practitioner, and I have interviewed her. So check her out on Good Vibes TV on the YouTube channel. You'll check out her interview and learn a lot from her. She's a very knowledgeable and wise woman. So thank you, Kristen, for watching today. Okay, so that's what I've got for the astrological news as far as the sun, the moon, and let's quickly talk about Mercury, because Mercury did go direct on March 20th. And my point in this is that now we have all the planets in the month of April that are direct. They are moving forward. So that means that there's no holding back anymore. There are no planets in retrograde, so everything is moving forward. So that's why April tends to be a very powerful month. Not only is it like, spring just started on March 20th, but really things start growing in the earth. You can see things sprouting, things blossoming, the pollen's in the air, new plants blooming. And it's a great time to connect with those with the season, but also be in line with the season so that we're also focusing on growing things in our lives. And, um, so let's see. So all of these planets moving forward rather than retrograde supports progress, movement, and manifestation. So this month, the month of April, is great for launching projects, for taking courageous action, for aligning with your purpose. So think of April as a cosmic green light. Go. Time to go. So that's what's happening with the cosmos as far as the astrology. And let's move into the UFO UAP disclosure information news that I like to let you guys know about, because I am involved with the Citizens for Disclosure, which is a nonprofit group, part of the New Paradigm Institute. We're a group of people across the nation. There's like 4,000 members of Citizens for Disclosure that are all wanting to promote UAP disclosure specifically through the government. So, for the government or Congress to kind of get the handle on what's happening with UAP technologies and crash retrievals and things like that. So, let's see here. The big news that happened this week is that the members of Congress, especially those around the UAP task force and Representative Luna, who is from Florida, she has actually demanded the release of dozens of classified UFO videos by April 14th. So she put a deadline to these things. She says that these objects have been observed near sensitive military airspace, and is demanding that these, I think it's 49 different documents that she's asking, and pictures that she's asking for from Arrow, from the Pentagon. And so we'll see if she gets that. So this is the first time I've heard of a deadline from Congress like that. So a lot of other former officials are speaking more openly about the classified briefings, and governments around the world are beginning to take this phenomenon seriously. But while we don't have full transparency, the pressure for disclosure is continuing to build. And one of the ways that it's building is through the film industry and movies. And I mentioned it last week, but Dr. Stephen Greer is coming out, or has come out, with a new movie that's available on Amazon Prime and of the other streaming platforms. It's called CE5, The New Frontier of Contact. And so this is all about CE5 contact. CE5 is close encounters of the fifth kind, which is where humans reach out to the ET family and ask for interactions and this kind of thing. So Dr. Stephen Greer started this. Basically, it's a group meditation, and where people asked to speak to the ETs, and they manifest in different ways. And you can go to Dr. Stephen Greer's. He hosts several events, but there are many other people that host these CE5 events as well. But this movie is about following a group that went through a CE5 event and the things that they found. I did watch the movie, and really fascinating videos and pictures that they got that they didn't necessarily see with their eyes. Some people did, but some people didn't. But they saw on the film, once they looked at their cameras and what they shot, they could see the pictures there, and they saw them afterwards. So if you want to watch this film, go to tinyurl.com/capital GVTV CE5 film, and you'll be able to go directly to the Amazon store to get that. So the other thing that's happening with Dr. Stephen Greer, let me see if I could share my screen here. He is celebrating his 25th anniversary of, let's see here, do I have it? Yeah, make it a little bit bigger for you. 25th anniversary of the historic 2001 Disclosure Project press event, which happened on May 8th of 2001. Now, so he's doing the 25th anniversary of it on May 8th from 2 to 5 at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. And he's actually going to have several new whistleblowers talking about several different things. And I talked a little bit about this last week. So you could actually go to the event. It runs from 3 to 4:30, and it's $50 to attend in person at the National Press Club. Then he's doing a follow-up workshop the next day from 2 to 6, and you can actually go in person to see it, or you can go to the webinar. So to go to that event, let's see, I think that's the $100, that one. But the webinar you can actually watch live on the 9th. It's a 4-hour presentation on that Saturday for $25. So that is another option if you're not close to Washington, D.C. and can't make it to the actual event. So I wanted to share that with you in case you get the opportunity to meet Dr. Greer and go to this presentation. It's, a very he is, I think, the grandfather or the godfather of the UFO disclosure movement, to be honest. He's got over 750 whistleblowers that have come to him with this information, and he's been working on this fight for what, at least 25 years. So again, if you want to learn more about Dr. Stephen Greer, just go to his website. It's on the screen right there, and check it out. I plan on attending the webinar live, not in person, but live, online virtually, because I think it's going to be, he's going to have a lot of good information and a lot of the most current information as well. All right. So another big news that's happened. I've been talking about my Galactic Good Vibes Experiencer series, and that has finally launched. I'm actually in episode 2 right now. And if you want to watch, you can go to this. It's episode 2, but part 1. It's a long interview with Kevin Briggs, who channels the Council of Eight, which are 8 different ETs that he's been working with and communicating with his whole life. And he's like 70 years old or 72 right now. So check out part 1. It's here. And part 2 will either be out tonight or tomorrow. So I'm still working on that. So check out Galactic Good Vibes. Really cool information. And decide for yourself whether or not you believe these people. I, for one, do. But until you hear their stories, you won't. It won't be real for you. So I encourage you to check out some of these interviews that I've done with these different experiencers. I'm not an experiencer yet. I am a believer for sure, but I haven't experienced, contact, what I define as real contact. So, but check it out. In the meantime, let's now talk about Citizens for Disclosure. I am one of the co-leaders for Florida for the Citizens for Disclosure movement. And we have meetings every 2 weeks on Zoom. And we're part of, like I said, this New Paradigm Institute. And you could go to the website there and actually sign up for their newsletter. It's free. Sign up to become a volunteer. It's free as well. And you could decide how much you want to get involved. One of the latest actions that you can take is going to this tinyurl.com/capital GVTV, then small case WHCTA. And this is the current action to basically send a letter to the White House asking that President Trump put his requests that he had on his Truth Social post to actually make that an executive order and put some meat behind his request to allow for the UAP files to be disclosed. When he did that about a month ago, I guess by now, that started some things rolling, but it's not real law or anything. It's just a tweet, right? It's just a post. So you can help with that pressure. And we have, and I don't remember the number, but a lot of petitions of these petition people have signed and getting a lot of traction. So that's one way that you can get involved. And just to let you know what we're working on right now, a special campaign. It's called the Transparency Pledge Campaign. And this is where the Citizens for Disclosure are asking all 500 and some Congress people, that's 100 in the Senate and 400 and something in the House, U.S. House, and all the candidates that are running. We have a transparency pledge that we're asking each office to be part of. So that's the work that we're doing on right now. And the last 2 weeks, I've been on a bunch of different Zoom calls with other citizens for disclosure volunteers, talking to our the legislative aides in these different representatives' offices. And it's been really great to be part of this and feel like we're making a difference. So that's something that's been going on and will continue for the next 4 months or so. And I will keep you updated on who signed the transparency campaign pledge rather. And this pledge there'll be a scorecard on the New Paradigm Institute website in a couple of months that shows which Congress people have signed the pledge and who hasn't or has declined, because we're holding them to account. And that's something that needs to be done, really. All right, so now let's talk about conscious activism. So, the big news that happened this past weekend was the No Kings peaceful protest that happened this past Saturday. And there were over 8 million Americans that attended these different protests across the country, both in rural areas and uh, urban areas. And so it's grown. The last time I think they had one was last year, and that was 7 million. So it's growing. And so if you're interested in being part of this conscious activism, go to nokings.org, get signed up, get tuned into what they're doing, and how you can be part of it and how you can help, because we're in the times where I think it's important to be aware of what's happening. And, if we get the opportunity to share our voice, that we do that. And sometimes we don't always get that opportunity, but we got to take that opportunity to share what we want as a country, because we are a democracy and it only works if we're giving input to the system. So this is what the conscious activism is all about. All right, so let's talk now about meditation, because no matter what's happening in the world around us, whether it's global events or cosmic mysteries, the most powerful thing we can do is to center ourselves in love, in peace, and in higher awareness. So let's now take a few moments to connect with the beautiful energy of the Libra full moon through this short guided meditation. So this is called Balancing the Scales of the Heart meditation. And let me get us some music to get us in the mood. Okay, that's not too loud. So, balancing the scales of the heart. So, now let's take a few moments to align with this beautiful Libra full moon energy. If you're able to, as long as you're not driving or operating some heavy equipment, put yourself in a comfortable, safe space, sit comfortably, close your eyes, and now take a slow, deep breath through your nose and exhale gently. Now, again, inhale slowly and exhale. Imagine above you a beautiful, glowing full moon. It's radiant and luminous in the night sky. This moon is shining down pure silver light, a light of balance, harmony, and love. Breathe that energy in. With every breath you take, that moonlight begins to gently pour down into your crown chakra, the top of your head. Feel it flowing through your body, relaxing your mind softening your heart, calming your emotions. Now imagine in front of you a beautiful set of golden scales, the symbol of Libra. On one side of the scales is yourself, your needs, your dreams, your truth. On the other side are the relationships in your life. Notice how the scales appear. Are they balanced? Or is one side heavier? Without judgment, simply observe. Now imagine the loving light of the full moon gently touching both sides of the scales, restoring harmony, bringing fairness, bringing clarity. If you've been giving too much, the universe now restores your energy. If you've been holding back your truth, you are gently supported in expressing it. Feel your heart opening. Allow this affirmation to flow through you. I honor myself and others with love and balance. My relationships are guided by truth, harmony, and mutual respect. I radiate peace and attract balanced connections. Now imagine sending loving light from your heart to everyone in your life, your family, your friends, your colleagues, even those with whom there has been tension. Just allow love to flow. Feel your heart becoming lighter, clearer, and more peaceful. Now take one more deep breath in and slowly exhale. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So how was that for you? Hopefully that'll got you kind of in a good space, more peaceful, more in tune with the full moon of Libra. So it's time now to talk about the spread of the week. And so this week's spread is called the Mirror Mirror Spread. So what I've done, there's a book called 101 Oracle, 111 Oracle Spreads. And each month I'm doing a card spread as opposed to using a deck, a different deck every month like I was doing. I'm doing a different spread of the week. And so each month will have the number of cards that we use. So this month, since we're in April, it is 4 cards that we're going to actually pull. And so this mirror mirror spread, and I do have the book here. Let me let y'all know all about it. So looking into a mirror can be like staring into the depths of your soul and an opportunity to reflect on who you are. You can be your own worst critic or your greatest friend, depending on your mood and self-perception. Use this spread to seek advice, not just from the cards, but from yourself. So let me share with you card number 1 represents the observer. What are you currently feeling? Card number 2 represents reflection. What is holding you back from connecting with yourself inwardly and feeling like your best self? Card number 3 is the observer. What do you need to let go in order to move forward? And then card number 4 will be reflection. What inner resources and strengths do you have within you to make that movement? All right, so let's ask Spirit here for guidance and the information that we seek right now. And I'm going to pull the 4 cards. And the way the spread looks, it's like this: 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And I apologize, I don't have a second camera to actually show you the cards like I used to, but we will make do. So the first card that we're getting is to the sea. So what are you currently feeling? This is not going to show real good because it has a lot of green in it. Observer, what are you currently feeling? To the sea. So I'm using the Wisdom of the Oracle pocket deck by Colette Baron Reed, and I will read you this message. To the sea, and this is representing what are we currently feeling. The essential meaning is being in flow, returning to source, recognizing how pieces fit together, a natural pattern of events. And I'll read you the general oracle message. Isn't it wonderful when you feel yourself in the flow of life, when events and conditions seem to engage you in a way that is fluid and effortless? This card reminds you that going with the flow is exactly what you need to do right now. Ride the wave of opportunity formed by perfect conditions. Allow trust and faith to guide you forward as you flow like a river into the sea of life. So that would mean we are feeling very fluid, right? So card number 2. Card number 2, where did you go? I'm getting there. All right. Card number 2, reflection. What is holding you back from connecting with yourself inwardly and feeling like your best self? And here is the card. Again, I apologize. I'm using my green screen so you can't see it. The card is Imagine. Imagine is number 20. So the Imagine card, the essential meanings are turning imagination into manifestation, creative thought, visualization, the power of aligning imagery and feelings, creativity, and illusions. So, what is holding you back from connecting with yourself inwardly and feeling like your best self? It's our imagination. I'll read a little bit of the message here. Who do you want to be? What do you need to believe in order to have the life you want? You were gifted with the power to imagine. If you can dream it, you can create it. This is the time when your imagination is the key to manifesting the life you desire. Spend time daydreaming, fashioning a wisdom vision board to help you see your goals, or meditating. Allow the power of your creativity to deliver images of what feeds your soul. Then allow your feelings to mingle with your inspirations and imagine these things being real right now. Then repeat. What you imagine will soon become your belief, and soon you will see these things come to pass in the outer world as if by magic. So, again, first card to the sea, second card, imagine. So, our imagination holding us back from what's our best selves. Card number 3, what do you need to let go in order to move forward? And the card we got is All That Glitters. Interesting. All That Glitters. So let me read that card. It's card number 16 if you happen to have this deck. And I would encourage you to, if there's a spread that you like that I've done, Copy it down and then use your own oracle spread or tarot deck and practice using these spreads because they're really great ways to get new insights. Okay, all that glitters. A need to see beyond the superficial, the desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to become something you're not, chasing after every sparkling new thing, being mercurial. So, what do you need to let go in order to move forward? The message is it's only human to want to adorn oneself in trinkets and paint a pretty picture of oneself. It's natural to want to acquire the trappings of status or deny them as a statement of rebellion. But if it sparkles, is it better? Whether it's a fast car, a big house, a title or position, the stamp of authority, or the sparkling of diamonds, these icons let you know something about a person, place, or thing, or do they? The truth is that people seek to acquire things because of what they will do for them and how they symbolically will elevate them and make them more attractive. This card signals that it's time to see beyond the adornments and probe underneath the surface. Learn to recognize the masks people wear and the motives underlying them. Imagine that all the glitter is gone. Would you still desire the object or the person? So, oh, I didn't. This card is what do you need to let go to move more forward? So, that's basically saying all that glitters is not gold. All just because it's shiny and new doesn't mean it's something that we need in our lives. So, yeah, think about what glittery thing do you have in your life that if you let go of, you can move forward. And the fourth card here, the reflection is what inner resources and strengths do you have within you to make that movement? And the card we got is milk and honey. And so I know that's a good card or positive looking one. Milk and honey, the essential meanings are the taste of prosperity, opportunities born of authenticity, nurturing, nurturing abundance, trusting that your needs will be met. So, what inner resources and strengths do you have within you to make that movement? You've entered a sweet time in your life, enjoying the land of milk and honey that everyone wants to experience. It's an interlude that feels more languid than ambitious, when all your senses are awake to the unlimited possibilities in the universe. These times are precious and only come when you're in your authentic zone, wearing the world as a loose garment, not wanting, yet able to be nourished in ways both tangible and subtle. Abundance is abundance is an energy that you are living, that you are a living part of. All your needs have been met. You are given the gift of nourishment in every form. So that is that message for card number 4. Um, so basically, we're in the flow. Imagination is we're in the flow, right? Card 2, what's holding us back is our imagination. If we're imagining things that are not positive, then that's what's holding us back. The other card, what do I need to let go in order to move forward? All that glitters, right? The things that are not authentic, then they're not real, that are just kind of fake and phony. And the final card is what inner resources and strengths do you have within you to make that movement? And we have it all. The universe provides for us. We have the milk and honey. It's there. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Some of these readings don't necessarily give us an answer for something specific. It's kind of like a general opportunity to reflect on things, to think about certain things. And so I believe this mirror spread is one of those. But yeah, sometimes you're not sure where to start, like thinking, and these spreads are great ways to kind of pinpoint that. All right. So if you like this spread or this deck, you can find them on my Amazon store. Just go to good-vibes.tv and that will get you there. All right, my friends, we're coming towards the end of our show right now. So that beautiful full moon energy is always available to us when we pause and reconnect with our heart, which is one reason I've added the meditation in these videos, because it is important to get into that practice of dropping into our heart, from our brain to our heart, and really making that connection and really living from that heart space. And so, our tip of the week to raise our vibration this week, well, actually, let's talk about last week, because last week's tip of the week to raise your vibration is to take one aligned action, and immediately, because we were in that waxing moon building up to the new moon, the full moon that we just had last night. This week's tip of the week to raise your vibration is to practice energetic balance, again, with the theme of balance and the Libra full moon. So take a few minutes today to ask yourself two simple questions. Where in my life am I overgiving? And where might I need to speak my truth more clearly? So ask yourself these questions and then take one small step towards balancing them out, like we did in the meditation. Maybe it's setting a loving boundary. Maybe it's expressing appreciation, asking for support, or simply giving yourself permission to rest. Balance raises our vibration because it restores our inner peace and authenticity. It's important that we spend that time going within to find out, what's going on with me as a soul, as opposed to reacting to everything around us, right? Taking control of where it all starts from, because it starts from here, from us. Um, so that is the tip of the week to raise your vibration. Again, practice energetic balance. See where things fall on your scale as you're evaluating your energy in your life. Well, my friends, I want to thank you for watching today. Um, if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who might benefit from the message. And remember, your thoughts create your reality, your energy shapes your life. And when you choose love, balance, and gratitude, you naturally raise your vibration. So until next time, keep raising your vibe and living the good vibes lifestyle. Peace out, everyone.